they have these chess players, the very best chess players in the world, ready to make deals that would affect 100 years hence. I mean, you got real big guys up there. You better have the right people at the other side of the table. All these things, they made sense to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And the more he talked, the more I saw what was going on. And the other thing there are two other things. One was he was happy in a battle. Somebody came at him, he was happy to respond in kind. It took no energy from him. And we had seen, the attacks against George Bush, Mitt Romney, Sarah Palin, all of these lies and slanders that covered them and defeated them in the end.
Now, when we come back, I want your second point. You said there's 2 points.
Yeah, there's 2 points.
We'll be right back. So you supported Donald Trump early, Jon Voight.
Yep.
You said there's 2 reasons. One, you liked the fact that he had clarity and he fought.
Right.
Fought back. What was the second reason?
Well, there were several things in there, but one of the things that made him, separated him from all the rest, was the fact that he had enough money to run his campaign, and he didn't have to seek huge amounts of funds for his reelection to keep somebody in his pocket so he could always have that cash to run on. Now, this area is a very tough one for people who are in politics. It should be looked at. It should be repaired because it's gone way beyond what it should. The amount of money that even local politicians have to raise is out of line.
But you like that he was self-funding.
He was self-funding, and that meant that he wouldn't have anybody that he had to, that he had to appeal to in his decisions, which would have to be very strong and tough decisions. Somebody had to have a lot of courage. Well, he certainly seemed to have a lot of courage. And he didn't have that other thing. So all of these people I can see in the decisions, I know some of these people. Some of these politicians, good guys, who are beholding to, some of the people that they've connected to run their campaigns, and they're bending in their in support or non-support or this or that. The decisions are being swayed by this relationship. He didn't have it.
What do you make of the virulence of the attacks against him? Is this the old left that you left in the media now?
Well, it certainly is the left doing it. And the virulence is because he's effective. That's what the virulence comes from. He's actually doing what he said he would do. It's an amazing thing in itself, isn't it? But he's actually accomplishing, returning to our basic principles of government that were given to us by those guys on the wall there, right? He's accomplishing it, and they're in disarray. He's one by one picking out the stuff the weeds, and they are the weeds. And so this is their dying breath. They have to stop him somehow. So you see these very extraordinary things that they come up with. That's what they do. They're conjuring lies and slanders against this man trying to destroy this presidency. It's that simple.
When you talk to me like this, and it's going to be seen all over the country, including way back in Hollywood, do people come up to you and say, John, what's going on? John, you're going to hurt your career. Or is it, we expect this from Jon Voight. It's well known now that he's an outspoken patriot, conservative.
Yeah. Well, you get a little of everything, of course. You also get guys that come up to you and say, hey, Johnny, great, keep going, will you?
Other actors?
Yes, other actors, people in the business. Yeah. I get a lot of support from people I appreciate, who I respect. So it's not all one way. And also, I like my peers. I like them. We're in the same industry. I understand them.
But do they like you?
Well, it's not so important to me. You see what I mean? That's not important to me.
Yes.
I mean, it may be important to me if I require, work. But there's enough people around who are of a conservative nature. But Hollywood has been infiltrated. Why? Because they're important. That's why the left is focused on Hollywood. That's why they're focused on our universities. And that's why, and if you can look at that subculture of the left, they know exactly what they're doing. They've organized, and been very effective. So we have a big job on our hands because our children are not being raised to appreciate our the greatness of our country, the greatness of our founding, principles. And thank God for Mark Levin. He is the watchman over this treasure, and a person who can explain the beauty of it and knows exactly where the attacks have chipped away at it too, because we have to get all that back.
You're very kind. We'll be right back. So Jon Voight, you were an early supporter of Donald Trump. How's he doing?
I met someone on the plane flying to make this appointment with you. A friend of mine is conservative, a woman, actress, very good one. And I said, so what do you think about our man? And she just did this. That's me crying. It was her, too.
Why are you crying?
Saying, because it's so, first of all, the gesture was so beautiful. She couldn't even speak. She was just saying, thank God. And I say, thank God. And one of the reasons why I can say thank God is because I know He's there, for us all.
God.
And that's one of the things that we've lost, is this compass of God. We have, what did Karl Marx come up with? He eliminated God from the picture. So we can do it without this. Not these boys, not our guys. They knew very well. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by our Creator, that we are endowed with certain inalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And by the way, one of the things that I know you know the genius of the architecture of our founding, this Constitution, where it came from, Bill of Rights and a Declaration. I'm lost in the thought of you being the one that I'm sitting in front of now.
No.
You understand the genius of them to say, the pursuit of happiness. Because if you go into a communist country, as I did, in 1991, I went to Moscow to make a little film, first time. It was during Glasnost, Perestroika, being the time that they were changing things, of more openness, and all of this stuff. So I was there. And what did I see? I said, people with their heads down would not look you in the eye. In the hotel, nothing worked. You go to the desk to ask for something, a light bulb changed, they wouldn't look at you, pretended they didn't speak English, all of this. And these people, deep unhappiness, they had no possibility to pursue happiness. And that's the difference. That's what socialism, communism, progressive, that's what it means. You don't have the ability to pursue happiness. You can't raise yourself up above anyone else. As soon as you get more than the next guy, you're slapped down. So no matter how hard you work, you can't improve the lot for your children. They're unhappy. Their buildings are unhappy. There's nothing happy about their societies. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's a mark. And that's the genius of this happiness is a big thing. Anyway.
I have never heard it put that way. Truly, beautifully, beautifully put.